Yo, what is going on, guys? Plunge here,
How's it going, buddies? Nasael here.
Hello guys, Stanley here.
and today we're gonna be doing another video request, and this is the request of Colin M. He or she said, now do a reaction of his best Nickelodeon shows. So, a couple of months ago, I reacted to PhantomStride's top 10 worst Nickelodeon TV shows, and it seems like you
Yeah, I
guys
saw it.
you actually did watch it. And it seems like some of you guys enjoyed that because you now want me to react to PhantomStride's top 10 best Nickelodeon TV shows. I'm excited for this one because I'm not gonna be watching something that is bad. It's a top 10 best. So my guess is actually SpongeBob is gonna be number one. I think SpongeBob
Jimmy Neutron,
probably. What about you?
Danny Phantom,
Oh yeah, Danny Phantom is a good one.
Danny Phantom.
and also what's that? Very Odd Parents.
Oh yeah, those are good shows actually. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's gonna be on this list. So without any further ado, let's go watch the top 10 best Nickelodeon TV shows.
Although Nickelodeon is mostly regarded as a sad, shambling mess nowadays, the network really has had some amazing shows over its 36-year history. Many of its original cartoons were so creative that they themselves found new cartoon stars and had groundbreaking
It's gonna
effects
be
on
one,
Western
of course,
animation.
it's Avatar.
For the longest time, Nick was destroying Cartoon Network in the ratings, and it was no wonder. The original Nickelodeon was creative, fascinating, and often disturbing. So today, let's take a look back at the top 10 best Nickelodeon shows of all time. For the shows on this list, they have to stand the test of time and still be good as an adult, not just be a nostalgic childhood favorite.
Okay, so
if I could
nostalgia
only
is out of
enjoy
the
it as a
line.
child,
It has to be good
probably
even
won't
when
be
you're
on this
young or
list.
you're an
Anyway,
adult.
onto the countdown.
Number 10.
Number 10. Rocko's Modern
Rocko's
Life.
Modern
Out of
Life.
all the
You
animated
know this?
shows,
Do you know this?
there was
Yeah, I do.
always
I know
just
this.
so much
This was in, TV5
creativity in
before.
Rocko. While
Every
I liked all
morning.
the colourful characters and weird
Yeah,
imagery as a
big
child,
graphics.
as an adult,
Oh,
I really enjoyed watching Rocko's bizarre suburban life and the constant satires of our own world. It's really interesting just watching Rocko interact with this strange, surreal, sometimes terrifying world he lives in. And the amount of controversy this show got away with was just ridiculous.
Oh,
baby, oh baby, oh baby. Rocco.
The hot, be naughty, be cautious.
They said they had this had a
Next to
controversy.
Animaniacs, Rocko was the leader in constantly giving the big middle finger to the censors. I mean, the most controversial moment is the second freaking episode. Rocko gets lured into the home of a female mutant frog who tries to seduce him before
Oh my
finally
God.
drugging his drink. Jeebus.
Oh my God,
This is
she spiced the
bizarre.
drink.
Even the title cards contain titles like,
Jesus.
"Who gives up?"
Alright, this is crazy.
Shit's heads. They didn't even try to hide that one. The freaking pub is called the Choking Chicken. It seems like the whole point of this show was just to see how much they could get away with. And it can get so cleverly surreal.
God.
Oh my
from just
God.
the
Oh my God, that
simplest
was just
daily
straight
activities.
penis.
For example, he wants to go to the mall to buy a dog bowl. So he drives to the parking lot, up the parking lot garage looking for a space so high that he ends up in orbit. They then take an astro lift down to the first level so fast that they're crushed by the G-force. Interestingly, the staff from Rocko's Modern Life actually went on to create SpongeBob SquarePants, which, when you think about it, is a fairly similar show. Both at heart are just two guys living an average suburban life. The only real difference is that SpongeBob has a much more positive, upbeat attitude towards his humdrum activities, while Rocko struggles to adapt all the way through. It was a tough choice, but I think Rocko's Modern Life deserves to be on the list.
Don't even think about talking here.
Literally. That was nice. That was a nice
And the
guy.
ninth best is...
Ninth. Hey, I've never seen
This is
this.
probably the most
I
whimsical
I
show on the
watched
list.
it, but
Despite the rough,
I've only
choppy
seen it for
animation
the
of the
memes,
characters,
but that's pretty much
it feels
it.
like one of the most
Really want a
real
cup of
Nickelodeon
tea.
shows ever made.
a Coke
At
guy.
first, I wasn't sure whether to put this one on the list or not,
Nice
because
gag.
despite the heavy
Should be in
impact
this.
it had on me, it didn't really leave me feeling positive or upbeat like most of the other shows. In fact, half the time, I didn't know how to feel about some of the endings. A lot of the time there was no ending punchline, it simply finished as it was. Happy or sad, the show just ended. Although the main character, Arnold, essentially plays the everyman, the characters around him are just so colourful. Characters like his grandparents are full of so much more life than Arnold, despite being 70 odd years older than him.
Gonna give you 24
that
hours
old
to
man
dangle,
looks like
eh?
the one-
That's right. Big guy, huh?
Courage.
Slow,
Yeah,
but
Courage.
with lots
The
of
cowardly
power.
guy.
Squash you like a bug, eh?
Sadly,
But probably the most
it's
interesting
Cartoon
character is the
Network,
head bully, Helga. At first she seems like a
There's a
generic
sad
bully,
backstory about this
shoving,
girl.
spitballing, and
Let's see
picking
if he's
on
gonna
Arnold.
say it.
But then you realize she secretly loves Arnold. And I don't mean just your average high school crush.
You ignore me, but
She
deep
loves
down you
Arnold.
know how I really
And there's a
feel.
reason
She
for
is
it.
absolutely obsessed with Arnold, to a very creepy level, all while bullying him mercilessly. That makes for a really interesting character. Apart from here, I've actually never seen this done before, but as a kid, this really made me think. What are people's real motivations for what they do?
There's
My
a reason
child
why
mind
she
could
loves
not come to
Arnold.
terms with
She
someone
was
who
bullied
acted
when she
so
was younger, and
nasty
Arnold
on
was
the
the only
outside,
one
absolutely
who gave her
adoring them on the
attention.
inside.
That's why
And I like
she
that
loves him.
message. That sometimes appearances can be deceiving. This show taught me so much as a kid. It subtly showed me that each person has their own world, their own individual
I see now
motivations.
why it's a great
Hey
show.
Arnold felt real. It didn't sugarcoat
It
anything.
tackles, yeah,
It is
real
a
life
wonderful
situations.
slice of life cartoon, and I still remember
Slice
to
of
this
life
day.
cartoon, exactly.
What do you think we'll be doing in 70 years?
Looking at this comet again.
Yes, sir.
I like the vibes of this one.
I'll be,
Great
you
vibes.
know.
No, you won't, Phil.
Will you stop calling me Phil?
Number 8.
Number 8. Rugrats.
Rugrats.
The first
I
thing
know
I always
Rugrats,
think when I
but
see Rugrats
I
is
had
cute.
toys.
I had
Frankly,
Jollibee,
despite
or
that
said
innocent
McDonald's.
exterior,
I think
The
I
Jollibee
only-
has
toys
had
of
an
this.
only watched this
astronomical
one. There's no
impact.
better
It was the first big
cartoons
game changer for
at that time
Nickelodeon.
slot.
Even
So this is
today,
not your,
when I think
cup of
Nickelodeon,
tea?
Rugrats
You don't
is
like
the
this?
first thing that leaps to
I watch
mind.
it from
But I've
time to
often
time.
wondered why. Why exactly was a show about toddlers the big game changer for Nickelodeon? I
Why
think it's
is it?
actually because the ideas were always very creative and unique, despite the deceptively simple setup. I mean, there's so much creativity purely in watching how these kids interpret the world with their wild imaginations.
And all we gotta do is grow him the same way my grandpa grows his crooked squat.
Every episode I rewatched, I would always go, oh, I remember this. It's like every single episode had left an impact on me growing up. Just seeing these tiny problems become gigantic through Tommy, Chucky, Phil, and Lil's innocent perspective. It should be corny to me, but damn, it was creative and fun to watch unfold. Even after 30 freaking years, Rugrats still holds the #1 all-time rating for Nickelodeon.
Oh,
Probably
so it's
most
the
well-known
highest rated
episode is
Nickelodeon
where
show.
Angelica breaks a
Really?
leg, and Tommy's family has to
didn't know
wait
that.
on her hand
Now
and
you
foot.
do.
Mostly for this one line.
Stu, what are you doing?
Making chocolate pudding
It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Why on earth are you making chocolate pudding?
because I've lost control of my life.
The only thing that bothered me about the show was that
Oh, no.
I know, I say it
the
right.
unpleasant,
Now I know.
annoying, nasty brat
Now I know
that
why.
ever
It's
dawned
rated this high.
Nickelodeon. You know what? She still sings better than Hannah Montana. I mean, I get that she's playing a character, but the problem is that Angelica plays the spoiled brat role so well that I ended up loathing her so much that I enjoyed the show less. But I guess that just shows how good the acting performances were. Rugrats is a massive cultural milestone, and all it was watching a bunch of kids with big imaginations. I really enjoyed watching Rugrats again, so it easily makes the list.
High imagination.
Number 7.
Number 7.
Stand back.
Oh,
My
robot!
love.
What's this?
My life as a robot.
Yes.
An
Oh my
angsty
god.
teenager who's
I
also
forgot
a hero.
about
That
this.
combination is
There's a lot of
freaking
cartoons
awesome.
I forgot.
Jeez, I love the
The
animation on this
memorable
one.
episode was
It
when
reminded
she
me
had
of that
this-
original Teen Titans
I don't
style.
remember
It's
what
that
that is.
wonderful, affectionate hybrid of both Japanese and Western animation, paying homage to both. Jenny, the 16-year-old robot,
Jenny.
actually reminds
Jenny.
me of a far more incompetent and brash
Bought
Astro
yourself,
Boy.
huh? So
Never
they're
let me
the
do
first ones to do
anything
it.
I want. Work, work, work. I never get to have any fun. If you don't let me go, I'll...
Don't you raise your lasers to me, young lady.
The story is actually very similar to Astro Boy 2. Jenny tries to balance both protecting the Earth from unspeakable robot horrors and living a normal teenage life. And like Astro Boy, it's actually a very believable struggle. What I like about the show is that it doesn't feel like it's pandering to the teenage demographic. I genuinely believe Jenny is a brash teenager when I see her. Even small details like her mannerisms. When I see this body language, I think of a 16-year-old teenage girl. The show also really immerses you in its colourful, futuristic setting. It's part of what I love about shows like this or Futurama. The fascinating ideas and imagination you can create with this futuristic setting. Beyond making it a boring, old, corrupted, desolate,
the
hopeless
original
wasteland.
Sigma male.
Everything about this show
Hey,
screams
mama.
unique. All I can say is, yes, Nickelodeon, good work. My life as a teenage robot is the way to go. More of this, please. Less of this, please.
This one's in the worst one.
Number 6.
Number 6. There we go. The goat. That's why he's the goat. The
Congratulations,
goat.
Nickelodeon. You did it again. You made a teenager cartoon that wasn't pandering. All of us here are so
Yo, the
proud of
Nickelodeon
you.
was just
To
14
start
when
with,
his
the main
parents
character
built
Danny
strange
isn't cool.
machines.
In fact,
The
he's a
world
complete
unseen.
dork.
He's gonna catch
These
him all
feel
disease,
like
Danny fan.
real people. The sister
Oh,
actually feels
everyone's
like
crushed.
a real
What's her name?
insecure,
Sam?
overprotective
The
16-year-old
goth-
sister.
the
The
goth
teenagers
girl?
start
The goth
protests.
girl,
They
it's
poke
Sam.
fun at each other.
Everyone's,
They subtly attempt to
first
shift the
crush.
conversation back
Yeah,
to
I
themselves. These
agree
are
with
what
that.
real teenagers do.
The other girl.
I'm a creature of the night,
You're a
doomed to a
manifold
family of
Yeah,
mourning
you're
people.
toxic.
The story is essentially
Gone, your mommy
14-year-old
king.
Danny
You're
just
toxic.
gets turned into a
We
phantom
actually have
ghost
the same,
and uses his
what you
newfound
call
powers to
drawing
fight off
animation
ghosts.
as the
It's a
fairly
simple
odd
premise, but the
Maybe
show
it's the
has
same
such a
creators.
unique charm and creativity that you don't even notice. And the theme song is catchy as hell.
Glowing green eyes. Getting cute and fries. Can't believe
Damn,
the
now
other
this
guy.
is a cool song. The jokes are actually funny. The atmosphere is kind of ghostly and spooky. It's got three-dimensional characters. It's a fun story.
Back when
It's got an
cartoons
exceptional
wasn't afraid to
soundtrack.
show action, you know.
Unfortunately, like all good Nickelodeon
Now
shows,
they can
the
show
series
people
was cancelled by
punching each other.
Nickelodeon. Danny Phantom was
It's
supposed
weird.
to get another season, but Nickelodeon condensed the order and rushed it all to the end. I guess it was too good a cartoon for them to keep. Danny Phantom was innovative, sharp, quick, atmospheric.
I'm guessing
It
this
was
is the
everything
Ben
that Johnny
10
Test
of
should have
Nickelodeon.
been. Nickelodeon, you've done
Black
good.
and white,
More of this,
classic.
please. This time,
The
you showed
superhero
Cartoon Network how to do
genre
a
action
good teenage
adventure.
show.
He's gonna catch him all 'cause he's Danny Phantom. He's gonna catch him all 'cause he's Danny Phantom. Number 4?
Number
Oh,
5.
5. Number 5.
Hey, Carly.
Is it
Okay, I
iCarly?
watched that.
And iCarly.
Drake and Josh.
This one was a tough decision. but to
Gotta
me,
be
these
honest.
are the two
This was
miracle
just not
sitcoms
my
of
taste.
Nickelodeon.
It took
They were
me
the
a
two
while to
Nickelodeon
actually get
sitcoms
one
that
that
were
was
actually
Drake and
good.
Josh, but
In fact,
yeah,
they were
it's
better
not
than
Drake and
good.
Josh.
They were really
gonna
funny.
lie, it wasn't
Both
my
Drake
taste.
and Josh,
mean,
his family, his friends, and even
Miranda
the
Cosgrove
strangers
was
they
like
meet
Harden,
are all very likable characters.
Drake and Josh,
Drake can be a
right?
bit shallow and a show-off, but they always make a point of seeing he gets his comeuppance for it, and
Ooh,
he actually
what's
grows
that?
to be a better person throughout the series.
I only
Josh
know
is
of
simply
the-
my favorite
I only
Nickelodeon
know of this
sitcom
guy, the other
character
guy,
ever. I love this
the
guy.
thinner guy, this guy from the the Dragonfly.
He's dorky but fun.
But
Happy
this
in
guy
his
is
own
hot
self and
now.
works
He
brilliantly
lost a
off
lot
Jeff.
of weight,
Whenever these two
Jesus.
came on screen, they always brought this earnest, positive
And
energy
what's
to
the name of
screen
the
with
the
them.
iCarly girl? Yeah, she's hot too now. My
The scripts in
God.
these shows
Even
actually
her,
have
even
smart
her.
work and
Yeah.
clever jokes. I can pop onto any moment in Drake and Josh or
remember
iCarly,
watching those
and I'll
shows.
actually find a funny moment
And
that
what
makes me
happened?
The
genuinely
nostalgia,
laugh.
man. The nostalgia.
For example, the entire first
I love
episode
that.
of
The
iCarly
falling
is
thing.
dedicated to poking fun at bad teen acting.
No one enjoys that!
iCarly is basically just about some teens wanting to get some attention on the internet, so they stir up
Just
some
some
controversy.
teens who wants
It
to get some
feels like a
attention on the
very
internet.
real, organic
Sounds familiar.
story. I could see
I mean, you're
teenagers
still-
actually doing this.
Come on.
And the shows
23,
feel
Yeah.
wild.
21,
You believe these kids
22.
are good kids.
We're
They
we're
store-
counted. Whoa! There we go.
Frankly, all these teen
My
actors
man.
give likable, great performances. And you know what? I'm happy to say all of them went on to do better things because of these shows. Fans love them,
Jonathan
critics
Miranda
love them,
Cross.
and they deserved it. They had all given amazing performances for their age. And they created believable, likable characters for these shows. I probably prefer Drake and Josh a little more, but I personally think both these shows were the best of Nickelodeon sitcoms by far.
The
You have
best
my
of
thanks,
Nickelodeon
Schneider's
sitcoms.
Bakery.
Neither's
Who's the cameraman in iCarly?
And for number 4,
Kissed a lot of girls in that
Number
movie,
4.
iCarly.
Harvey
Oh, no, I
West.
don't
it's the
know this.
I
modern-day
have no clue what
reincarnation.
this is. It's probably a
of all
more
the things that
recent
originally
cartoon because
made
of the
Nickelodeon
style.
great. This is
And
simply
of course
a
it's more
beautiful
HD
show.
looking.
The art style is this gorgeous hybrid of both
oddly familiar
watercolor
to
backgrounds
many
and
people.
well-drawn
The art style
characters.
reminds you of it.
Every single character is three-dimensional and likable. The setups are really unpredictable. It actually reminds me a lot of Steven Universe's style.
Oh,
There we
Steven.
go.
Like Steven
There we go.
Universe, the
Steven
show simply
Universe.
immerses you in this pleasant, simple, and endearing world. A world where it's interesting just to be around these likable characters and watch them interact. I really relate a lot to Harvey. He's a lot like Butters in just being very positive,
Self-aware.
kind-hearted, and well-meaning, except much more prone to being obsessive-compulsive.
Who put this down without using the coaster? This is good wood. Okay,
God,
I'll just clean this up real quick, then it's
Yeah,
back to being
he said
normal.
it. He's
He has
prone
only two
to
close
obsessive
friends,
compulsive
struggles to
things.
adapt to change, and is a bit socially awkward. In other words, Harvey's a bit of an aspie.
Nah.
My mom only buys the
Gonna be
chunky
wiping
peanut
all
butter,
those
but
windows,
you
right?
don't care, right?
And you know what? That is freaking awesome. Asperger's is awesome, and we need more Aspies in modern shows. I really like this recent trend in cartoons, where the greatest strength of a main character is
It's must-
simply having a kind heart, and people flock to them because of it. I will say that it does walk a little closer to that fine line between being endearing and overly cloying than other shows. But if you do have a bit of cheese tolerance and like shows like Steven Universe, chances are you'll get a real kick out of Harvey Beaks. Harvey Beaks has flown a little bit under the radar so far, but I hope it does get more attention. And sadly, since it was a quality show with original ideas, Nickelodeon has
it
put it
went
on
for
hold
long.
in favor of their revolutionary crap heaps. Good God, I hate breadwinners. They can push aside decent, innovative shows in favor of
It always
continuing to parade
goes
its
like that. The good
crappiness.
shows get
But hey,
cancelled.
it hasn't been
The
cancelled
shitty
yet,
ones
and Harvey
stay
Beaks
for
is
some
simply
reason.
a beautiful, heartwarming show. Personally,
Oh
I'll
my
definitely
God,
be
it's
checking out
the
the new
finger
episodes.
in-
I've also attached a link to the trailer in the description if you'd like to check it out.
You scared? Yeah, but I'm ready to go home.
Wait a minute. Omit. What are they doing?
And for
Number 3.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
There we go. The
Season
GOAT.
one
Seasons
to 3.
1 and 3.
SpongeBob.
The goated
You're the
seasons of
massive marketing
SpongeBob.
juggernaut of
Only
Nickelodeon.
around
But
30.
part of its success was because the original
Only
3
around 30
seasons
though.
were unforgettable classic animation. While
Those
one of its
two,
Larry.
seems
those
to have
top
lost
two
most
is
of its
probably the
audience over
best.
10,
We'll
the
see.
general consensus is that season
What
4
are
is
they?
where
I remember
shows
the
started going
imaginary
downhill
box.
after the movie.
Use your
This is probably because
imaginary-
after season 3 finished, many
Oh,
of the
no.
original writers
like me.
packed up and left. The writer who created Harvey Beaks
no.
originally wrote for seasons 1 to 3.
Gotta
but
say,
once
there
he
are some
left,
weird
things
things in
didn't look as good for
SpongeBob though. The
SpongeBob.
close-ups.
Oh, no.
Suddenly, the show was
Remember those
focusing
close-up
exclusively
close-up
on a young
scenes?
demographic.
Where they're
Suddenly,
all
the
like
characters had
butchered
become
faces, very
one-dimensional
scary-looking
and had
faces.
barely
Oh,
any
yeah.
wit.
I'm
just a shell of my
Oh no, it's
former
Larry!
I hear you, Larry.
Depressed
Or-
Larry!
First
should
3
not watch
seasons were incredible.
Oh, I know about
These
that.
seasons
Yeah,
had an
that-
amazing narrative flow. Its
We're
sense
gonna-
of
Oh my God,
humor
the
could appeal
circle.
to
We're gonna talk about
anyone.
that later.
And it was always interesting watching this cheery sponge interact with his humdrum world. There was more of an adult
Oh
feel
my
to some of the
God, me
jokes,
trying to
but
date-
it still appealed to kids at the
For
same
me,
time.
though, this is
My
the,
favorite character was probably
The
Sandy.
poster child of Nickelodeon,
Of course there's no
SpongeBob.
water. Nothing but
Until
air.
now, they're
I
still
made Texas
showing.
tea
There's
cookies.
there's something about
Sandy!
there's
Until
something
science
about
became
this
her only
square
identity in
guy.
later
He's just so
seasons.
fun to
I liked
watch.
how she was always this friendly, exotic alien from the surface. She was clearly a lot more intelligent than SpongeBob, but always welcomed his company with friendly, wide-open arms.
Your song is true. If y'all want to be my friend, just be yourself.
Simply watching the original SpongeBob
Oh, I
go
love
throughout
that.
his
Goated-
day,
goated
enjoying his
episode.
simple job and finding the positive side in everything was something
Yeah.
that many people could connect with, all around the world. This made for a classic, unforgettable icon in cartoon history,
What?
even if it only lasted 3 seasons. And it's why we still instantly recognize him today. And I hope that someday, this little yellow fellow wins our hearts again.
Bye. Nah.
Let's see what number 2 is.
And the second
see if
best
you guys will
Nickelodeon
agree
show
it's higher
is
than SpongeBob.
Avatar, The Last
What's number
Airbender.
1 then?
Avatar really
this
stands
is-
out
Fairly Odd Parents.
seeming
This isn't.
Jimmy Neutron.
everything we've had
it?
so far.
One
This-
of those
I mean,
Is
Rugrats,
Jimmy
Ren
Neutron
and
and
Stimpy,
Fairly Odd
SpongeBob,
Parents really
and then
better than
suddenly,
freaking
out of
Avatar?
nowhere, an anime
There's no
esque
way.
really artistic
I think
milestone
Avatar
with
should
a
be
deep,
number 1.
engaging
Me too.
story
But
about
we'll see.
three
We'll see what
martial
number 1
artists. This show reminds me more of a
Avatar, live
Miyazaki
action.
film than
Shit.
it does Nickelodeon.
Maybe it's
Where the hell did
Avatar
this show
Korra,
come
we don't
from?
know.
Avatar
I
really
didn't
is a
like
unique
Korra, though.
cartoon. I can't think of
Sorry to
another
the
cartoon
Avatar
like
fans,
it.
but I
The
didn't
only
like
other
it.
cartoon it kind of reminds me of
Why?
is Teen Titans.
Yes.
And that's just because they both have that unique animation
Not your
style.
cup
Wait,
of
it's
tea.
Cartoon Network, right?
Affectionate
what?
Western
Titans.
interpretation
Yep.
of Japanese anime. Not only do I think the animation style is awesome, but I love how original it feels.
This is
Our
the,
three heroes
the
follow
first
Ash, Rocky,
cartoon
Misty
that felt
from
like an
Pokemon's
anime.
example, and
Yeah.
travel
They
from
nailed
town
it.
to
They
town.
nailed
Except
it.
they're expanding their knowledge of martial arts while being hunted down by the youthful,
character
fiery
development
villain
forgot
and
it
his
as well.
easygoing uncle,
was
as well
really
as the
well
voice acting
written.
being really top notch.
And the love stories
A lot of
as
the
well.
jokes in this show actually work.
It's action packed.
What?
Yeah, it's all
really
And some of the
go the
messages in
route
this
of
show are surprisingly
romance, so-
deep and powerful. It treats kids with the respect that they may actually be able to take the darker messages of life on board. Like, sometimes people can't be stirred and will lose all hope.
I like
And
shows like this.
sometimes
They
there
don't
are
hold
wars
back
that
with the
cannot be
message.
won by simple
They
hope
just
and
show you what it
self-belief.
is.
That's why
Every
they do
single
it.
person in this show is a believable and interesting character. Even
They
the
don't
villain
treat
plays
the
this
audience
comedic
as
stick
the,
in the mud, while his
a
uncle is
buffoon.
constantly trying to get
Yep.
him to relax.
They know we will get it.
We need to
No
leave
need to hold
now.
our hand.
On second thought, why don't you take another few minutes?
And exposing himself. Avatar simply doesn't feel at all like
remember
any other
General
Nickelodeon cartoon. It's not gross,
when
cheap
he was
looking,
in
or
prison.
cheesy.
Hmm.
It's
He
a
was,
beautiful, detailed,
breaking out of
innovative,
prison.
immersive story.
It's like
I personally
so
think The
stop.
Last Airbender is a masterpiece.
the goat.
And I think it
I-
easily
The
I-
deserves
Sigma
a second place on
female.
this list.
Sigma female.
Before we get to number 1, I'd like to give a couple of quick honorable mentions.
Okay.
Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and
Even though this
Stimpy, I've
cartoon
heard of
wasn't
it.
really
Oh,
my
no.
cup of tea as a kid,
That
it was a
cartoon is
massive
weird.
milestone in controversial cartoons, and it certainly
really
deserves
sure
a
if
mention.
Jimmy
Fairly
Neutron
Odd
and-
Parents.
Okay, so it might
So-
be Jimmy Neutron.
No way it's better than
But
Avatar.
even as a
No way.
teen,
No
the
way.
voice acting
But
never
Fairly
quite
Odd
sat
Parents
right
is
with
just
me.
a
And with those
honorable
mentions,
mention?
on to number 1.
Alright.
Okay, on to number
And
1.
the number 1
Jane
best
May
Nickelodeon
Neutron.
show is
Oh no! Invasion?
Invader Zim.
Honestly,
I've
Zim is
never
the
heard
only
of this.
I've never
that,
heard of this.
regardless of age,
Holy
I've always
shit.
just
Looks like the
loved.
three of us
It doesn't
have it.
matter how young
But I can
was
see in the
or
art
old
style
I am,
why
I've
it's
always
good.
adored this cartoon. At some
I mean,
level,
I
it's
heard
always
of
been what
that.
I've needed to see. No cartoon
Do you remember
that has
those
ever been
Y8
cancelled
Flash games?
has had the
The
cultural
arts-
impact
Laboratory.
Zim
The art style reminds me of it.
Captured.
This show is deliciously dark. It took all the begrudging restraint
Jimmy
Nick had
Neutron is not
before
in
and
the
let it go,
honorable mention.
giving us one of the darkest, most disturbing cult classics in cartoon history. Rebecca Sugar, the creator of Steven Universe, is so obsessed with this show that she wrote fan fiction of it. She adores this show. Hell, Peridot is essentially her Zim fan fictions come to life. This show is actually one of the most expensive Nickelodeon shows ever produced.
What?
Even 15 years later, I look at this animation and it looks
More expensive
beautiful.
than
This
Avatar?
show was a work of art, both visually, as a cultural milestone, and the characters are some of the most memorable characters in cartoon history. You can still throw a Zim quote out to this day, and many people will still instantly
Reminds me of,
recognize it. This show molded
Flash
me as a
games.
person.
The art
particularly when I
style
was a
is
teen,
great.
and it is the Nickelodeon show I have just enjoyed watching over and over, year after year. Its dark undertone, its timeless characters, its unique style. I still can't think of a cartoon similar to Invader Zim over a decade later, because there's simply nothing like it out there. I personally think Zim was the best thing that ever came to Nickelodeon. I personally consider Invader Zim the absolute best Nickelodeon show of all time. Nowadays, a lot of mud is slung at Nickelodeon, but when you look back, these guys have already given us nearly 2 decades of quirky and imaginative cartoons. And even now, underneath the cracks,
That
we're
thing,
beginning
my
to
god,
see hints of
the
those
style
original
of that is so
revolutionary cartoons
visceral,
being
it's
reborn.
disgusting.
And it's my hope that one day, Nickelodeon will be in fierce competition with Cartoon Network again.
The movie.
Do you think it's a particular show?
David
Do you have a particular
Hasselhoff was
favorite
in
yourself?
this.
I know there are a few Nickelodeon
I remember
cartoons
the
and sitcoms that
chest
didn't quite make
cannon
the
that he
list,
had.
so feel free to let me know in the comments. A special thanks to both Clint and Eye of Soul. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for making this top 10 list. Okay, so that is it for the best Nickelodeon shows. I enjoyed it. They definitely did as well. It's reminiscing of the, you know,
Of the old days.
the good old days back when we didn't have to do anything. Just lay in our bed eating shit all day.
And just waiting for their time slots. And yeah.
But yeah, thank you Cole and M for suggesting this video. I would definitely be up to reacting to the worst and the best Cartoon Network shows next.
Oh yeah, I would love that.
Because growing up, I was more of a Cartoon Network guy.
Yeah, me
Same.
too
Same.
actually.
Courage the Cowardly Dog, Ed and Ed.
CN. Cartoon
What do you
Network.
call this? Oh, Mema Ben 10. Not really a fan though. But Dexter's Laboratory.
Powerpuff Girls.
Powerpuff Girls.
That was great.
Yeah.
Great.
Generator Rex was a great follow-up for Ben 10 too.
Teen Titans.
Teen Titans was great. What else? Foster's
We
Home.
forgot the Sigma Male, man.
Oh my
Bravo.
god.
Johnny Bravo.
Mama. The first ever Sigma Male. We didn't even know what Sigma Male was, and he was already one.
Always skip Wednesday.
And hope you guys enjoyed our reaction to the best Nickelodeon TV shows. Hit like, subscribe, follow our socials, gonna be linked in the description. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers. We are currently at 992 subs.
But maybe by the time this is uploaded, we already hit that
Hopefully.
1,000 mark.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Because this will be uploaded, I think, next week. So,
Actually, I have 3 weeks from now.
3 weeks from now. So hopefully we're already at 2,000 subs.
Hopefully, we're already at Mr. Beast kind of subs.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
And then it's all downhill from there, you know.
I mean, at least we got there.
Yeah,
I won't be complaining.
at least we got
100 million
there.
subs. I won't be complaining about that.
Never defended the belt. Double champ.
Champ. Never defended a belt.
But yeah, that's it for our reaction. And in case we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.